Come, let us practice Buddhist philosophy and Tantric Chanting to help us meditate like a Jedi. Let us begin with the Four Noble Truths. From a certain point of view, I was supposed to put an image of Obi-Wan Kenobi there. I must remember that. I guess I'll put a Control G2, and maybe I'll remember it that way. Okay, let's continue. From a certain point of view, stress is anything that circumstantially, physically, interpersonally, or mentally inhibits our ability to survive and thrive as a species. We evolve a collection of instincts to survive those stressors. Whoopsie, that was perilous. Let me see if I can move the cord so as not to cause my equipment to launch. Okay, here we go. These are fine when used sparingly, but since the Neolithic Revolution, we as a species have been forced to overuse them. Enslaved by the fleeting, short-term pleasures of our dopamine-oriented reward system, we've become defined by our controlling tendencies. And as such, overfocus, overanalyze, and overbelieve to such a degree that we exhaust, let me move the word, let's see here, that we exhaust our dorsolateral and medial prefrontal cortex, which triggers our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression. Causing our tendencies to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, to be the guiding light by which we needlessly squander our brief human lives. The fulfillment for which we yearn could only be delivered by our oxytocin-oriented system that rewards our tendencies to be flexible, loving, rational, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. Excuse me, Gail, when you walk by that object, can you toss me the remote and just toss it here? Thank you. This meaningful path has 8 folds. Let us forsake the exhausting habit of actively fighting against our own autonomic nervous system, the hardware of our Buddha nature, and instead with it cooperate. By silently and mentally reciting the verb watch each time we feel air enter our nostrils or our chest subtly swell as we inhale. And by silently and mentally reciting the verb rest each time we feel air exit our nostrils or our chest subtly sink as gently we exhale. Having completed our exploration of the Four Noble Truths, let's take a moment to shift gears. This is General Leia Organa Saturday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Semde Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I could become your personal nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to meditate like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So, in preparation for chanting, you may wish to join me here. If you are already on the Tube app, you're A-OK. Mazel tov. Okay. As the tip of our left index finger supports the great knuckle of our right index finger, palms up in our lap. Let us practice bliss in letting go in such a manner that it feels as if the Force itself is giving us a kiss upon the top of our head. Quick edit. To do this, we require neither blind faith nor exhausting visualizations. Instead, we're just going to chant 6 syllables. Lama, come to this crown. Lama, Lama, come to pay crown. Excuse me. Lama, come to pay crown. Lama, come to pay crown. Lama, come to pay crown. Now let's practice our first 4 sets of the awareness and letting go, that is, meditating like a Jedi, the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Remember, as we feel the air enter our nostrils, we silently and mentally recite the verb watch. As we feel the air exit our nostrils, we silently and mentally recite the verb rest. Let us explore mindfulness, the seventh fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. During each inhalation, spontaneous and uncontrived, the sympathetic nervous system centered in the middle bit of our spinal cord is already wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly watch our perceptions. The sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, and scents of the four bases of mindfulness: the circumstantial, physical, interpersonal, and mental, including our abilities to emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. Instead of indulging our controlling tendencies to shove at circumstantial danger, physical pain, interpersonal scorn, and mental shame, as well as reach for circumstantial safety, physical bliss, interpersonal praise, and mental fame, let us choose to be vulnerable to all that we experience, from the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. We turn now to meditation, the eightfold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. What are we to do with all that we watch? Simple. With every exhalation, the top bit and the bottom bit of that same spinal cord, known as our parasympathetic nervous system, known together. As our parasympathetic nervous system is already wired to rest in such a manner that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and even as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel non-graspable to the hand. Until, of course, the next inhalation, when the cycle begins afresh, and like the ticking pendulum of a grandfather clock, we continue to watch mind's antics and rest in its non-graspable nature. Well, come on, coordination, don't fail me now. Let us practice the holocron of impermanence and interdependence, the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. I'm going to start chanting. If you'd like to chant with me, when you use this information, you'll be able to watch my desktop in real time. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with all follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. And to my friends who are watching live on the Tube app, you're exactly where you need to be. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors for statements literal, and instead relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. So let us begin by bringing our experience of the circumstantial into the path of the wisdom of letting go. We begin with, so we're going to play with two sets of similes. All circumstances, all lots and their fears, as appearing yet non-graspable as a Buddha's, real or imagined paradise, pure land or vati of light, could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. Let us divide the silent and mental recitation of this 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. Lots, fears, melt into form. We now bring our experience of the physical into the path of the wisdom of letting go. All bodies or forms in their fears, as sensual yet as non-graspable as a Devi or Yidams, real or imagined body of light, could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. Forms, fears, melts into speech. Let us bring our experience of the interpersonal into the path of the wisdom of letting go. We will be using the word speech as a monosyllabic metaphor of the interpersonal. Doing a quick edit, please bear with me. All right. All interpersonal communication or speech and its fears, as resounding yet as resounding and non-graspable as a real or imagined horizontal mantra rosary of light, could be as impermanent and interdependent as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light, that could delightfully absorb into this mind. Speech fears melts into mind. Finally, let us bring our experience of the mental into the path of the wisdom of letting go. All lucid, perceiving, emoting, intending, thinking, recalling and imagining minds and their fears. As lucid yet non-graspable as a real nor imagined, one syllable seed or bija mantra of light. Could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into our vast empty void. Mind spheres melts into void. Let's practice the second set of the awareness and letting go, that is, meditating like a Jedi, the seventh and eighth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. The acquisition of a new skill could make us anxious and even feel that we, like Rip Van Winkle, could sit to meditate only to open our eyes and find that a century has passed us by. Some have found that the best way to non-neurotically time our meditation is to practice a variation of Bengali crease counting. It could take more than 1 minute to count 16 inhalations by touching the tip of our right thumb to the creases and tips of its little ring, middle, and index fingers. It could take more than 20 minutes to count 16 sets of 16 inhalations each by touching the tip of our left thumb to the creases and tips of its little ring, middle, and index fingers. It could take more than an hour to count 3 collections of 16 sets of 16 inhalations each by using the tip of our left index or middle finger. Whoopsie, that's not it. Let's try this again. Index or middle finger to first support our right index or middle finger's larger lower knuckle. Then support its middle knuckle, and then support its very small upper knuckle, all while resting both our hands palms up in our lap. Remember, that which at first feels awkward could be mastered if practiced once every 12 hours after only a week or so. As the tip of our left middle, oopsie, let's try this again. Let us practice bliss and letting go in such a manner that it could feel like the force itself is giving us a hug. We do this not through blind faith or by exhausting visualizations, but merely by chanting the following 6 syllables. Lama, blend with this mind. 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 Let's practice the 3rd set of the awareness and letting go, that is meditating like a Jedi, the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. As we feel our chest swell, we could silently and mentally recite the verb watch. As we feel our chest subtly sink as gently we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite the verb rest. As we sit and breathe and watch and rest, all that we notice could fleetingly and effortlessly come to feel impermanent, evanescent, and far too subject to change to ever be permanently grasped. The more we sit and breathe and watch and rest, the more our anxious and aggressive amygdala is calmed. And the more our empathetic anterior cingulate gyrus is gently stimulated, so marinating our experience of the four bases of mindfulness that mentally our intentions are spontaneously kinder, interpersonally our utterances are naturally kinder. Physically our conduct is automatically kinder, and circumstantially our commerce is impulsively kinder, thus forging a heaven on earth, eventually a peaceful death, and even an auspicious rebirth, figuratively, if not literally. The more we watch mind's antics and rest in its non-graspable nature, the more we automatically experience the effortless effort, or wu wei, that comes not from calculated contrivance, nor from wild scatteredness, but instead from love's deeply centered spontaneity. Let us transcend our elitist conditioning to consider the possibility that enlightenment is merely a mastery of this eightfold path. As children, the skills to use the toilet, brush our teeth, tie our shoes, and ride a bike felt insurmountable. And yet, with time and effort and tears, we so mastered these skills that we came to perform them spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. Similarly, enlightenment's eightfold path could likewise be effortless. Perhaps that is why, in the second to final passage of his discourse on the four bases of mindfulness, the Buddha is said to have explained that one could master this path in as suddenly as 7 days. No, doing so does not mean we'll never experience the presence of any pain or craving ever again. It simply means we will have mastered the Buddha's figurative tool chest, with which we could sustainably transcend each sling and arrow of outrageous fortune. So, once every 12 hours or so, may we sit and breathe and watch and rest. One moment. Let us practice the holocron of love and letting go, the second through fifth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. We'll begin by chanting an explanation of this 10-syllable mantra from a distinctly matriarchal point of view. Om, I invoke the love that spiritually liberates Tare and physically rescues Tutare as well as blesses with Ture. One moment here. Shift. Here we go. May all beings master this dynamism with Soha. We're going to play with various wishes that are going to exercise the neural pathways that support empathy. Let us begin by bringing our experience of the mental into the path of love, the second fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. May all minds of all beings now be as joyfully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha, symbolized by a bija, one syllable seed mantra tamoti clay drop. For all minds, wisdom, joy. And now we come to the formal practice of mantra meditation, which is an exploration of the Mahamudra of love and letting go. Therefore, as we breathe in, let us silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable synopsis, the 6-syllable loving wish for all minds, wisdom, joy. And as we exhale, let us physically relax as best we can, while simultaneously chanting the 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. Now, if this is your first rodeo, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa. Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa. Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa. Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa, Om Tare Dudane Nurisawa. Let us we now bring our experience of the interpersonal into the path of love, which is the 3rd fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. If you wish to join in the chanting, if you are hanging out with me on the Clock app, you may wish to join me on the Tube app. If you're already on the Tube app, Mazel Tov. May all relationships, communication, or speech of all beings know me as peacefully loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech or communication symbolized by this horizontal 10-syllable mantra. For all speech, peaceful love. So we're not trying to get worked up into superstition. We're not trying to indulge our controlling tendencies. We're not trying to be Gandalf the Grey. We're simply playing with words in harmony with our breathing to exercise the neural pathways that support our empathy. Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa. Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa. Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa. Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa. We now bring our experience of the physical into the path of love, the fourth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. May all bodies or forms of all beings now enjoy the beautiful, healthy, depicted in Buddha statuary of the blissful body of a Devi or Yadama, an archetype of enlightenment such as Green Tata. For all forms, pretty health. Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa. Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa. Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa. Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa. We come to our fourth and final exercise of mantra meditation, where we bring the circumstantial into the path of love, the fifth fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. May all circumstances or lots of all beings now have the safety, great fortune, or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land or Vanti. For all lots, safety, luck. Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa, Om Tare Nane Nuri Sowa. Tariru Nariru Resuwa, Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa, Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa. Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa, Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa, Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa, Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa. Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa, Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa, Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa, Om Tariru Nariru Resuwa. Let us practice the fourth set of the awareness and letting go, that is meditating like a Jedi. These seventh and eighth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path that generate the effortless effort of the sixth fold, wherein our choices and utterances and deeds flow from love's centered spontaneity. Let us seal this evening's practice by chanting the wishes for the preservation of the Buddha's teachings. May each meditation teacher truly understand the Buddha's teachings and practice master as well as share them generously, lovingly, and wisely in the manner of centered spontaneity. May each meditation teacher spontaneously receive generous patrons, enthusiastic students, as well as devoted apprentices. And thus may many Dharma centers be successfully planted, nurtured, and flourish. In all compassion may we long to free all beings from the toxic tyranny of ever hating, craving, and clinging, metaphorically known as the three mental poisons. In all pragmatism may all liberation of all others be fueled by the three wish-fulfilling jewels of following the Buddha's example, applying his instructions, and cooperating with his students. Having sat for the better part of an hour, we could find it refreshing to conversationally recite the 8-syllable synopsis of that which we just chanted. May we free all through the three jewels, while simultaneously performing deep knee bends. Now, this, of course, is optional. I just find it terribly helpful. I find it more fun than performing the Chinese practice of leg massage. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just like this better. So if you are prone to motion sickness, beware. I'm going to swing the computer around. Woof. Okay, here we go. Okay. Listen to your body. Don't force it to do more than you're comfortable with. May we all through the three jewels. 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 You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 15 hours, I would love to return to lead tomorrow's first recitation and meditation. Normally, it would be in about 11 hours, but I've got a medical appointment tomorrow, so we've got to move things around. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.